was the first paper we wrote. It came out in the Journal of Commodity Markets. And in that paper, we try to contrast Western and Chinese commodities, and there are quite a few differences. For example, in China, what we find is that there are a lot of retail investors who participate in the markets, unlike the US. In the US, there are lots of hedgers that participate. And that really affects the risk premia that we find. Like, for example, there are some very significant term premia that can be captured with in calendars through calendar spreads in Western markets, and that's not the case in China. Momentum is extremely strong in Chinese markets as well. So it's kind of interesting to compare some of those risk premia, and it was interesting to see how market participation itself affects what type of risk premium you can actually observe in the market. Anyway, so that was the paper that he and I wrote. And then we wrote this paper about carry and time series momentum, and then we're working on another project as well.
Nice. I was actually just reading a paper this morning on differences in momentum and mean reversion character for A shares versus B shares in China. So I guess A shares, the majority of A shares are traded by Chinese retail investors, and the majority of B shares are traded by international institutional investors. And the A shares are dominated by mean reversion tendencies, and the B shares by trending tendencies. And so it sounds like some common threads with your research in commodity markets, which is kind of neat.